Good morning, students. Now we are in the session number 11. That is, once again, we are in Unit 1. That is, Unit 1 is Simple Stress and Strain. ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ 11ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನೀಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. Already in the previous class we have discussed about the stress strain diagram for the ductile material as well as the stress strain diagram for the brittle material, and we have understood few of the important features which we need to remember to solve the problem on it, and the important concepts which we should know about the material, and based on which we can use it for our engineering applications. Therefore, let us see the simple problem on stress and strain diagram. The first problem states like this: the following data refers to a mild steel specimen tested in a laboratory. The given parameters are: the diameter of the specimen is 15 mm, length of the specimen is 20 mm, extension under the load of 10 kN is 0.035 mm, load at yield point is equal to 110 kN, maximum load is given as 190 kN, length of the specimen after failure is equal to 225 mm, neck diameter is 12.25 mm. Determine Young's modulus, yield stress, ultimate stress, percentage of reduction in area, percentage of elongation, safe stress, adopting a factor of safety as 1.5. ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮೇಲಿದೆ. ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಮೇಲಿದೆ. 7 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ 5 ಅನ್ನೋನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನೇ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಥರನೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮನ್ನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ 2 ಸರಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಓದಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಗಿವನ್ ಡೇಟಾನ ವಿತ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಗಿವನ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 50% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಥರನೇ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಡೇಟಾ. when we see the problem, the given data are the diameter of the specimen he has given, which is D is equal to 15 mm. Load on the specimen is also given, it is 10 kN, and length of the specimen is also given, L is equal to 200 mm. That is the initial length of the specimen before testing, and extension delta L is given, that is 0.035 mm. And few more data are: load at yield point, you may call it as Py equals 110 kN, maximum load Pm, we designate it by, ನಾವು Pm ಇಂದ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Pm is equal to 190 kN, and final length of the specimen is LF ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. LF is equal to 225 mm, and neck diameter means diameter at the failure, after failure ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಲ್ಲ ಆ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಡೆಸಿಗ್ನೇಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಬೈ DF is equal to 12.25 mm. These are the given datas. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, what are the unknowns we need to find out? The unknowns is Young's modulus. Number 1 is Young's modulus, number 2 is yield stress, number 3 is ultimate stress, 4 is percentage of reduction in area, 5th unknown is percentage of elongation, and the 6th one is we need to find out the safe stress. Safe stress we need to find out, adopting a FOS or factor of safety as 1.5. These are the unknowns we need to find out. Let us start finding out unknowns one by one. As we know, the first step in solving the problem is as the initial diameter of the specimen is given D, that is 15 mm, we can easily find out the area of the initial area or original area of the specimen, that is using the formula pi by 4 d square. Here pi into the initial diameter is or original diameter is 15, that therefore pi into 15 square divided by 4. After calculating we will get it as 176.71 millimeter square. Area we have calculated. Next thing is for Young's modulus, E is equal to we know Young's the expression for the linear strain delta L is equal to PL by AE. We have modified that relation. We need Young's modulus E. Therefore, when we move E to the left side, therefore the expression will become E is equal to PL by A into delta L. And therefore, we know the delta L, the extension, change in length of the specimen. Therefore, we are going to substitute the values of P, L and A and delta L. Therefore, P is 10 kilonewton he has given. Therefore, 10 into 10 raised to 3. And length of the specimen, initial length of the specimen is 200 mm. We have substituted, and the area of the specimen as before we have calculated, it is 176.71, and into the extension of the specimen, change in length of the specimen is delta L is, he has already given in the problem, it is 0.035 millimeters. Therefore, after substituting all the values and after calculating, we will get it as 3.23 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. This is a stress, Young's modulus or stress in the elastic region. Next unknown parameter what we need to find out is yield stress. As the name itself indicates, yield stress means the load we are at the yield point, and if we divide that load by divided by the original area, cross-sectional area, then we will get the yield stress. Therefore, yield stress is nothing but Py divided by A, that is load at yield point divided by cross-sectional area. When we substitute the value of Py as 110 into 10 raised to 3 and area 176.71, we will get the yield stress as 622.48 Newton per millimeter square. Once again, it is a stress. Next unknown is ultimate stress. Once again, ultimate stress can be found out by by substituting the ultimate load and dividing it by the original cross-sectional area. Once again, that ultimate load we will designate by PM. PA is the original cross-sectional area or initial area of the specimen. We will substitute the value of PM as 190 kilonewton has given. Therefore, 190 into 10 raised to 3 newtons divided by area is 176.71 millimeter square. Therefore, after calculating this, we will get it as 1075.2 Newton per millimeter square is the ultimate stress value for this problem. Next now percentage reduction in area ಅನ್ನು find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ percentage reduction in area means initial area ಇಂದ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, after applying the tensile load in the tensile test, what happens, elongation of the specimen is happens. In the meantime there will be reduction in the area. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಅದು ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we need to find the percentage reduction in area by using the formula, that is d square minus df square divided by d square. Here d means the original cross sectional area of the specimen, df is the final diameter of the specimen. Final diameter means it is the neck diameter divided by the original diameter of the specimen. ಈ equation ಗೆ ನಾವು values ಗಳನ್ನು substitute ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, we already know the initial diameter of the specimen is 15 mm. Therefore, I have substituted 15, that is 15 square, and the neck diameter is 12.25 I have substituted it 12.25 square divided by 15 square into 100. If I do this calculation, I will get it as 33.3 percentage. Therefore, the percentage reduction in area of in this experiment is 33% reduction. Next unknown is percentage elongation. As I said earlier, in the tensile test, after the experiment, there will be increase in length of the specimen compared to its original length. That is what we call it as elongation. And our aim is to find out what percentage of elongation has occurred in the specimen. To find that, we need to use this formula. The percentage elongation is equal to LF minus L0 divided by L0, where LF is the final length of the specimen, L0 is the initial length of the specimen. Therefore, when I substitute the final length as it is given in the problem, it is 225 minus initial length of the specimen is 200 mm. Therefore, 225 minus 200 divided by 200 into 100. If I do this, I will get it as 12.5%. Therefore, percentage of elongation of the specimen in this experiment is 12.5 percentage. And the last unknown which we need to determine is safe stress. ಸೇಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ any applications, we will design only for safe stress. We are not going to design it for the ultimate stress. Therefore, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಸೇಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ we are going to calculate using yield stress divided by the factor of safety. Therefore, our yield stress is 622.48 divided by factor of safety as it is given in the problem, it is 1.5. After doing this calculation, we will get it as value of safe stress is 414.98 Newton per millimeter square. Means if you want to use this material for our engineering applications, we have to restrict the stress value up to only 414.98. We will be designing only up to this stress value. We are not going to design up to the ultimate stress of the material. Till now, I have discussed in detail how to solve a problem on stress strain diagram for a ductile material and how we are going to determine the individual parameters which are essential to understand the material behavior and to get the numerical values of that material properties. And I am also giving one assignment problem which is similar to the problem which I solved in this class. Only there is few changes in the given few changes in the data. Otherwise, almost all problem is same. Even though I will just go through once on this assignment problem. The following data pertains to a tension test conducted in laboratory. One is the diameter of the specimen is 20 mm, gauge length of the specimen is 100 mm. Here gauge length is the initial length of the specimen. I am giving the hint. And final length is 130 mm. Final diameter, or even we call it as a neck diameter, is 11.5 mm. Yield load is 92 kilonewton. Ultimate load is 165 kilonewton. We need to determine yield stress, ultimate tensile stress, percentage elongation, percentage reduction in area. This is simple problem. Try to solve this problem based on the previous problem which I have solved. The next concept which I am going to cover in this class is the concept of thermal stress and strain. Till now we have studied about the compressive tensile stresses, compressive stresses, shear stress, bending stress, and so stresses. But there is one more concept, thermal stress and strain. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇನ್, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Before understanding the concept, first what the basic thing what we can see is whenever a metallic body, whenever a metal is subjected to change in temperature, change in temperature ಎಂದ್ರೇನು, either it may be there will be an increase in temperature ಇರ್ಬೋದು, or either even it may be decrease in temperature ಇರ್ಬೋದು. Increase in temperature ಅಥವಾ decrease in temperature ಆದಾಗ metallic body will try to expand or contract. Either based on the temperature ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವೋ ಇಲ್ಲ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯೋ ಅದರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಐದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಹೇಗೆ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಅಲೌಡ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಈವನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬಾಡಿನ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಾಡಿಲಿ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಡಿಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟೆಡ್, ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. ಆಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ಗಳು ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಾಡಿಲಿ. ದ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್, ಆ ತರ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಏನ್ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಬಾಡಿಲಿ, ದ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್, ಆರ್ ಈವನ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಆರ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಬಾಡಿ due to variation in the temperature, and if the deformation of the body is prevented by some external forces. ಒಂದು ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, ಆ ಬಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಆ ಬಾಡಿ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಡಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ಗಳು ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ ಬಾಡಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ಗಳು ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದರ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಹೌ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಟ್, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಸಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಡಿರೈವ್ ಸಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಇಟ್. For extension or shortening of a bar, either it may extend based on the temperature conditions. It will be increase in temperature irbodu or decrease in temperature irbodu. Based on that ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, metallic bodies or metallic objects, either it may extend ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ it may shorten ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. For both the cases we are having the similar expressions. First let us assume few terms to get the equation. Let a bar subjected to heating, increase in temperature. We are taking in that we are taking one particular case, that is there will be increase in temperature. Initial temperature ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ, next further temperature increase ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Therefore we are taking a case of special case of increase in temperature. For that initially we are taking the L is the original length of the body or an object which is in millimeters, and T is the increase in temperature that we will consider it in degree Celsius, and alpha is the thermal coefficient of linear expansion in which is having unit of millimeters per degree centigrade. Therefore after assuming these three terms, basic terms, we can express the expression in terms of the above said variables. Therefore expansion due to heating can be expressed as, whenever we are going to heat the specimen without restricting its deformation, it is going to expand. it is going to expand. Therefore, delta, the mathematical expression can be expressed as delta L is the increase in length or expansion of the specimen. Delta L is equal to, L is the initial length of the specimen, into alpha is the thermal coefficient of linear expansion, and into the increase in temperature of the object. This is the expression for expansion or extension of the bar of having length L due to increase in temperature T and material which is having thermal coefficient of linear expansion alpha. Next one is, if the ends of the bar are fixed and therefore we are preventing the expansion, means previous case ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, we have not restricted the deformation of the body, means it is free to expand. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. It based on the increase in temperature it can freely expand. But ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, in most of the scenario it may not be like that. ನಾವೇನು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ಸಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಎರಡು ಎಂಡನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಆ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ. I am trying to say that whenever the both ends of the specimen is fixed and we are increasing the temperature, then we are not allowing it to expand. Now expansion ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, therefore as I said earlier, the temperature stresses are going to induce. Temperature stresses ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, it body induce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Therefore we need to calculate the temperature stress and the corresponding strain what we may get based on this condition. Therefore thermal stresses developed and a compressive strain is induced. In this case ನಾವೀಗ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದಿ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗೋದಂಥದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Therefore the compressive strain ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, compressive strain E can be expressed as, once again, strain, the general expression we know it is nothing but delta L divided by L, where delta L indicates the change in length of the specimen and L indicates the original length of the specimen. As we know in the previous slide we have discussed, delta L, change in length of the specimen due to change in the temperature, is delta L is equal to L into alpha into capital T. We already know that L is the initial length of the specimen, alpha is the thermal coefficient of expansion ಅಥವಾ thermal coefficient of linear expansion ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, and T is the change in temperature which is in degree centigrade. Therefore after substituting the delta L value which we have expressed in the previous slide here and simplifying, we will get it as numerator L and denominator L gets cancelled. Therefore finally we will get it as alpha into T. This is the expression for compressive strain. If you want to know the value of compressive thermal stresses or the induced thermal stresses, therefore stress is nothing but, we know, Young's modulus into strain into Young's modulus, that is stress by strain is equal to Young's modulus. We want the value of stress, therefore we will, when we cross multiply it, the stress is nothing but strain into Young's modulus. We have already previously we have calculated the strain value as alpha into T. When we substitute the value of strain here, the final expression for induced thermal stresses Ft, we will get it as alpha into T into E. where alpha is the thermal expansion of the material, thermal coefficient of expansion of the material, T is the change in temperature, and E is the Young's modulus of the material. If we use this expression, we can solve the problem to find the induced thermal stresses in the body. This is what we have studied in this present class. We have solved one simple problem on stress strain diagram for ductile material, and we have understood the concept of what do you mean by thermal stresses and strain, how we can calculate the expansion of the material due to change in temperature, and using that expansion, if we restrict the expansion of the object or contract of the object, what are the stresses induced and what is the quantifiable strain, how we can calculate the strain value, and even we have seen the expression for the induced stresses, how we can calculate the individual stresses. Once again, we have arrived at the end of the session presentation, that is our multiple choice questions. I will simply go through the questions. When a body is subjected to equal and opposite pushes, as a result of which the body tends to reduce its length, the stress and strain induced is compressive. He is telling the concept of how he is going to apply the forces, and he is also explaining how it is going to, either it is going to extend or it is the length is reduced, he is saying, and finally he is saying that strain induced is compressive. You need to tell whether it is true or false. Think about it and give the answer. The next question is, in compression test, the fracture in cast iron specimen would occur along. Whatever we have discussed, maximum is the tensile test, but as you are having material testing and material testing lab in your third semester syllabus, even you are conducting one experiment on compression test on cast iron. When you conduct that specimen, you will come to know how the fracture is going to occur and in which plane it is going to occur. Then you will understand practically. Based on that, you try to give the answer. The next question is, when a bar is cooled to -5 degrees centigrade, it will develop. See, here he is saying that the temperature of the initial temperature of the object is reduced to -5 degrees centigrade. The type of stresses which are going to develop in the specimen, you decide it and give the answer. The fourth question is, resilience is the about resilience he is asking. Either the option is energy stored in a body when strained within the elastic limit. We are straining only within the elastic limit. Option B is energy stored in a body when strained up to the breaking of the specimen till the end of this failure of the specimen. Either the option C is maximum strain energy which can be stored in a body. The fourth option is none of the above. Next question is, a rectangular beam A has length L, width B and depth D. Another beam B has the same length and depth but width is doubled. That of A, the elastic strength of beam B will be dash as compared to beam A. He has given beam A and beam 2. Length and width both are same. So the only difference of beam B is depth is double of beam A, twice of beam A. Then you need to decide energy stored in the body. I think the options are little bit different. I think mistakenly these options has given little bit wrong. You decide based on your understanding. The question number 6 is, the stress at which the extension of the material takes place more quickly as compared to increase in load is called elastic limit, yield point, ultimate point, breaking point. Seventh question, which of the following statement is correct? The energy stored in a body when strained within elastic limit is known as strain energy. The maximum strain energy which can be stored in a body is termed as proof resilience. The proof resilience per unit volume of material is known as modulus of resilience. Fourth one is all of the above. You select based on your understanding. The key answers are given here. Thank you. For any doubts, you can contact me through my mail ID punathkmr14@gmail.com. Thank you.